John John yanks on the rail, over the foam ball, books through there, and he's going to take the lead.
I think the mindset and the confidence for me ebbs and flows. Last year, I struggled with it.
John John Florence comboed.
Oh my God, inside I was like screaming, just tearing down the scaffolding.
I think last year was perfect for this year. It was kind of irritating for him finishing 8th. He was pissed and he obviously wanted to compete for the world title.
Another magic trick. And John John, I think he can just come in, bro. Wall standing up and he just blows the tail right through it.
That's a perfect 10 for John John Florence.
I think if I were to win another world title at this stage of my career, it will definitely be different. I just feel like I have a little bit of unfinished business.
John Florence, with his first appearance in the Lexus WSL Finals, will be wearing yellow. Florence, you are the #1 seed.
Yeah, I think the mindset and the confidence for me ebbs and flows. I think it's, I spent a lot of my career chasing what that motivation is, you know? For me, competing has always been a really cool kind of platform in that way. Last year, I struggled with it.
John John Florence comboed and a nearly impossible task. Medina, 19.2 wave total. John John going down.
I think last year was perfect for this year. And what I mean by that is it was kind of irritating for him finishing 8th. He was pissed and he was hungry. You know, he obviously wanted to finish really high.
Oh my God, inside I was like screaming, just tearing down the scaffolding. Like, no, don't talk to me. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to be here. I internalize it.
John's a pretty low-key guy and mellow, so when he has that extra fuel, I think it's a good thing.
I honestly feel like John sees the next few years as like a really important chapter in his life of like being at that apex part of his surfing career, physically, psychologically, and I feel like he's planning on having a massive year.
Barrel and Pipeline, John John.
He's getting older and surfers keep getting better and better. It's been a few years since he's won, you know, so there's always those challenges you need to overcome mentally to like get back into the winner's circle.
Still going.
Come on.
I think if I were to win another world title at this stage of my career, it will definitely be different. I just feel like I have a little bit of unfinished business. It's just all part of this process, trusting myself and going to the heat, taking a deep breath, letting go, and just surf. Like almost smiling and just thinking like, I can't wait for my first wave to come right now. Like that would be pretty satisfying.
Hawaiian John Florence is a former world champion and current rankings leader. For Florence, Paniche will always be a special part of his story.
It's got to be one of your favorite places on earth.
Yeah, I'm super happy to be back here. I have a lot of good memories from here. Obviously, winning my first world title here was really exciting for me.
And we will count down with 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, destiny has been put in place. John John Florence is your world champion for 2016, and it's happened right here in Portugal.
For that event, I didn't know I could win it here until someone had told me in an interview here in this room. And so it's funny being back here and being kind of in that like environment again.
How many times have we seen him with a big start? He's wearing yellow and then it disappears, or he's right in the mix and he gets hurt again. It's heartbreaking to even think about.
John's hurt himself here, I think.
John John in his career has missed 24 championship tour events because of injuries. He's got to stay injury-free if he wants to run at a third world title.
What do you want to achieve this year? To win again the world title? Is that on your mind, of course?
I want to win.
And I feel like he's planning on having a massive year. I know he's bringing Ross Williams on the tour with him for every single event this year, which he hasn't done in a long time.
I think it would mean a lot. I'm guessing it would be his favorite world title, just because, you know, he's getting older and all the surfers keep getting better and better. It's been a few years since he's won, you know, so there's always those challenges you need to overcome mentally to like get back into the winner's circle.
If I were to win another world title at this stage of my career, it will definitely be different. I just feel like I have a little bit of unfinished business.
John Florence flexes on the best surf main break wave in recent history.
There's the oh my God.
And he's not done yet either. He's going to back this one up.
Wow.
Holy moly. Can you believe it? The crowd goes bananas.
All day. All day. Has to be. The guy's a freak.
Vintage John John Florence.
That's a perfect 10 for John John Florence.
John John approaches this wave with a unique carving power game that really, it's almost unmatched. Power for power, he's better than any surfer out here.
We've been a long way for him to play a perfect
John John Florence, everyone.
Meanwhile, out the back, big old takeoff. This is John Florence. He wants to get barreled, folks. He is. He's looking for an exit. Where is he? Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
In 2017, John John Florence, armed with a new board design from shaper John Pizell, came to Margaret River, and in pumping conditions, Florence drew new lines on the waves, tighter arcs with more body torque. The result was a paradigm shift in modern power surfing.
Oh my goodness. There's not many people on the planet can do that.
2017, it was such a highlight of my career, you know, just having so many fun heats in a row.
Pound guys just went through the Richter scale.
Your event winner once again at the Margaret River Pro, John John Florence. John John Florence took apart the main break like no one else had done before. He set the benchmark, and nobody's come close to what he can do out here at main break.
Certain surfers that have romances with waves, and John John has a romance with Margaret River.
That's the turn that we love from John John Florence.
You know, that's the new level that you have to be at. It's sort of brought a new view on the wave, really. Yeah.
Nobody rides the barrel like John John Florence anywhere in the world, but especially at waves like Pipeline, Backdoor, and right here at Teahupo'o. He somehow makes the gnarly, most radical wave in the world look fun.
When you look at John in heavy water, he sets the bar with being really brave and being willing to take off under the lip.
When the waves are like this, you just don't really think about it. It just feels like you're free surfing almost. It's really all about the drop. You get to the bottom, and then once you're at the bottom, you kind of like stand there and let go and just look.
John actually feels more comfortable hands-free, which is crazy. Most of the time you're trying to hang on for dear life, and John will stand straight up in the most critical part of a 10-footer.
In my opinion, John John has the best style of anyone on the championship tour right now. And so to see him apply that style of surfing to a wave this gnarly, it's like watching a master at work.
Tahiti is special. One of the most beautiful waves in the world. The water's beautiful, the valley, you're looking back at the valley, and I don't know, so coming back here like every year, and just since I was a little kid now, it's just my favorite places in the world.
Action. John Florence has claimed the rankings lead for the second time this season. With 3 final appearances, the Hawaiian has cemented himself as a formidable title contender. Here in 2024, we're seeing the resurgence of the John John Florence that we all know and love.
John John yanks on the rail, over the foam ball, bucks through there.
He loves it.
Back in yellow, world #1, best of luck in El Salvador.
But for him to come down to El Salvador wearing that yellow leaders jersey, it almost feels like all is right in the surfing world. It's telling that we're seeing a reinvigorated, re-energized John John.
John John Florence throwing down the carb of the contest.
That was high-tech torquenology.
And I think it just is a reassurance that I'm doing the right thing and our team and everyone's kind of working in the right direction.
Another magicianry magic trick still going.
Come on.
And he is going to finally come out.
Ow.
John Florence has made a remarkable comeback this year. However, last season, El Salvador challenged the rankings leader.
I was just like so bummed and just like destroyed after losing on the elimination round.
Rare occurrence for John John Florence.
Just being here, I was just in a really kind of tough mental state of competing and not really enjoying it and kind of taking it too serious and a little too tense and losing because of that.
The body language tells me what I need to know. The wave let him down.
It just doesn't feel good, and it doesn't feel good to be here. It doesn't feel good to be doing it when you're in that mindset.
John, real rough go for him.
I think last year was perfect for this year. It was kind of irritating for him finishing 8th. He was pissed, and he obviously wanted to compete for the world title. He's coming into this year really amped and motivated.
Wow. Holy moly. That's a perfect 10 for John John Florence.
Last year fired me up.
Yeah, you think back to the kind of John John world title years, and this is starting to mirror what he did back then. But it's cool to see now because, you know, we haven't seen John be able to compete in the Final 5 yet at Lower Trestles.
This is John's comfort zone. And John's in that kind of role. I mean, he's more consistent than he's been in a long time. He's back at the #1 seed.
What a turn again.
And the waves are pumping. It's like the perfect scenario for John to go all the way.
In this final, Yago Dora coming up against John John Florence. The scenario for Florence is he wins this event and he clinches his spot in the Final 5. Yago Dora with a win here will get above that line into number 5. Here we go, first wave. John John Florence pops it up, puts it down.
Look at the spray off of that thing, bang.
John John slashes off the top. One more time, the carve layback hack. He's got some variety so far on this wave. Yago up right behind him. Nose pick, reverse there on the backhand. Goes for it again. John John Florence has put Yago Dora into a 2-wave combination. Yago needs 16.33 to take the lead. The rhythm evident down the line for Yago Dora. Pops it up, puts it down.
Yes, sir.
A lot of it back into it. A 9.77. Now he just needs a 6.56 to take the lead. And Yago has 30 seconds to respond. That's not going to do it for Yago Dora. Exceptional surfing for John John Florence. He's our champ. For the Surf City El Salvador Pro, he clinches his spot in the Final 5. So we're going to see John John Florence for the first time at Lower Trestles.
It's just been such a good year. Like, coming into the year, there's so much going on. You know, we're having a baby and the Olympics and the tour and everything. Oh, yeah, brother. So stoked for you. This will be my first time making it to the final, so I'm super stoked on that. Yeah, I'm just having fun competing. I really just want to serve as many heats as I can. But I'm just so stoked. I was going to be really bummed if I got another second. Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks.
John's win here just proves to me that he is in really good nick this year. He's injury-free. He's surfing amazing.
Thank you. You're happy?
Final 5? Are we
Yes, you're locked for the behind it.
Seems like he's unhinged. The floodgates are open. This is the John that we've known and loved for years.
I know.
He is now in contention to surf for a world title on finals day.
Yeah!
I was like 12 minutes, I was like, it's gotta go flat.
Put your hands together for the rankings leader. First win in his 4th final this year. Su campeón del Surf Cita Salvador Pro, John John Florence.
Yeah, and he was doing that just now here too. He had Miguel in his corner, which, oh, we might see John coming up.
Here comes John John. Pulls in, travels through the barrel, over the foam ball, spit. John John comes out with the vapor. And John John Florence, as we were expected, it was just a matter of time.
And you can see there wasn't a bunch of wash-throughs coming through, so it was time for a good wave to come through. And, you know, luckily, or, well, the skill of Florence having priority during that wave, you could see how perfect that cylinder was and how epic it was all the way through the end of that wave. So, you know, right now we're going to see some more really quality waves coming through as the conditions are absolutely butter out here. It's just perfect.
Checking out these replays, and John John Florence, just a master at the barrel. When we talk about Pipeline, John John has the highest heat winning percentage of everyone in this event. 71% heat winning percentage at Pipeline for surfing like that, Jesse.
Yeah, and like what's impressive about this wave right here, you're going to see the spit coming out. And what that does, it makes you completely blind. So basically for a split second right there, it was all about feeling. Like he had so many repetitions out here that he knows what he has to do even if he's not looking. So it's almost like he can do it in his sleep. And just combing it up with a nice scarf, just a little extra half a point right there for him. This is going to be an excellent wave.
As we turn to live action with a split peak, we're going to stay with John John Florence back door. Florence just through the cavern, got the headlamp on, comes out into the light of day. Full rail car, bending the fins on that Pizel surfboard. John John Florence. Felicity, what can David do at this point?
Oh, he's got 3 minutes. Here goes John again.
John again, and John again in the barrel, and John again disappears, and John gets a second,
No.
and why not squeeze out of that one too? It's a John John show.
Well, it's just crazy because that wave just grew, and he knew exactly what he was looking for. As he dropped in, he slowed down.
Here we go. Let's have a look. Takes off. When he's in the tube there, he's really deep. Comes out of his first section, stalls again, and then speeds up. You know what? Even
Yeah.
it could be higher.
Yeah. Here again from the water, Joel.
Yeah, just so technical. You know, I think he slowed down, but he put himself right on the foam ball, and that's what you want to see, right? You want to see him completely disappear, and then as the wave sped up, he pumps right through it and makes it look too easy.
Wow.
It looks like he did better his score there. So
From that angle, you could see
0.17.
it.
Yeah, let's take a look again in slow motion to really appreciate the technique, the stop and go that he's able to do, just patrolling.
This heat started before the heat. He was right behind John before the heat started, crept up on him and scared him.
Hold the horses. Here comes John John. John John Florence. Big girthy pipe barrel. John John comes out. John John needed a 4.67. John John has just turned the heat in the final 30 seconds. Wow. In quarterfinal number 1, John John does it in the final seconds with this ride right here. John John looks interested. John John's going Pipeline. Drops in, knifes the rail, pulls up on the Pizel surfboard. Second section and just busts through the door. John John Florence. So what you predicted, Luke Egan, just happened to Ian Gentile. He lost priority, and now John John's going to get another good score.
From the competitors, you know, but John just paddled by, and there was not a smile on his face. He was like pretty dead set and ready to do battle. And I feel like it's like I don't know, you know, usually he's got that little bit of a smile. He doesn't have it right now, and that's something I feel like we could touch on, you know, on his go for this year, not just this contest, but I really think he's, you know, obviously back in this for a world title, and he looks really healthy and amazing. Obviously, his surfing out here is amazing. The way that he molds the barrel and the way that he breathes in and out of it and can really like actually make the wave do what he wants to do almost is it's untouchable, and it's so fun to watch. So I can't wait to see it. I think John and Baron in the final would be amazing.
Well, we're getting close to there because John, we're checking out the replay, just scored an 8.27. So John has now gone into the excellent range.
Baron's been crafty because he knows the reef better than most of his opponents, but these guys are matched basically in every discipline. With priority, John pulls in at Pipeline, and he'll get puffed out. There's that casual look towards his friends and family. This is the decision for John to go first.
All right, that's what I mentioned. He wasn't deep enough on the takeoff right there, but because he's so good at slowing himself down in those waves, he was able to actually drag and wipe all the speed he had and actually get a very good barrel out of that. But then on the other side, you see Baron already scratching, battling deeper. But see right here, front angle. As much as that was incredible, it wasn't as deep as Baron's wave. And yeah, I have no doubt that Baron's going to have a better score than John on that exchange.
Here comes John John. What a turn again, and a cascade of water, and John John just solid on the ghost. Okay. Difference is Sonny was doing it on a 7-4. This is a 6-4 under the feet of John John Florence.
Yeah, I mean, this was that last wave that he just did. I mean, wow, just to have that ability to just absolutely stomp it so hard, lay back as well, come down with the lip. This is the angle I really wanted to see, just how radical this was. This is even just a different variation of that 7-6 that we saw just before. But to have the ability and the strength to hold on here, you can see he came down with that explosion, gets completely engulfed. To have the strength to do that is a really, really hard thing to do. It's just hard.
As you see it right there, every wave that is coming, Cade's kind of having a look and not really letting him go, but also not going, you know?
John will sneak under the hood to get the first wave of the morning. He travels through and gets the exit, lays down a hammer on the opening wave of the morning.
The guy just finds the nug. I mean, under the hood, into the tube, comes out for the big bang. Just pure tail. It was so fun to watch. And wow, what an opener, Jesse.
That's what I was saying. He just needs to get his foot on the board. That's all he needs to do, because once he has opportunities, he just does what he's doing right there. Just a beautiful tube ride and finish it off with an amazing layback snap. Just so solid on his foot. No downtime, just beautiful surfing from him. And now we have priority set, so.
But yeah, I mean, looks like John's having a little bit of a sniff here, so let's see what he can get done.
John Florence kicking things off in the round of 32 as he lays down that rail. An incredible forehand hook, sweeping it in the pocket again. Two huge power moves, then belts it vertically and shuts it down with a dagger of a finish. Then John Florence, the wave before, David caught his wave.
Yeah, this was great. This is textbook John. This is the carving, powerful, traditionalist sort of surfing we've grown to love from John here out at Main Break. And yeah, I'm not asking any questions anymore. I think this was really well done, guys.
Just watch the way here. It's variety of turns. Obviously, that turn there is what redefined Margaret River as a World Tour event, and really just showing us this performance power surfing that we've all come to accept since his 2017 victory. And here again, another one, cuts it so tight, and he never goes all the way to the bottom of that turn. So he stays in that top third of the wave, and he snaps that around again. Actually getting covered up in his own arc there, so it doesn't get any more critical than that, and maintaining that control and momentum, which the judges call flow, into that third bash there. So variety of maneuvers, snapping that one, and he finishes with a fourth as well. So, I mean, if this goes excellent, we're not going to be surprised.
That was a really hard section to hit there.
It's going to have to go excellent.
So many people go up for that last turn, and you just get absolutely belted, but he just did that with such ease. I agree, and let's have a look at this one again. This is just so well done. Timing. Timing comes to mind. It does not get any more perfect than that. Let's just have a look at this. Goes straight up into the lip here. Hard thing to do at Main Break, Margaret River. Super critical. You can't get any more tighter in the pocket. Gets a little bit of release on the fins there. Comes down with this, eyes up this second section. Now this here is just perfect. I mean, it's just so beautiful to watch.
I just love the relief of not having to compete. I just love being a spectator now. I'm such a huge fan of the sport, and I still watch everything. But, oh, here we go.
Well, let's see what Florence can do here to get rid of that 7.83. All out on the first section.
Holy
and
hammer.
he's going to pull it back under his feet and add more down the line here. This wave's got another big wall standing up, and he just blows the tail right through it. And there is the scream. John John Florence hasn't really had a whole lot to celebrate on his road through to this point in the competition, but he is starting to let the emotion out.
So far, John, it's a good-looking wave standing up for him. Throws everything in that section. Just, I don't even know what you call it. It was like a re-entry hack off the lip with a bit of layback thrown in there. Comes all the way through to the inside and just hammer time.
Big score. We allowed to guess them.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go at 9.63.
I might be going bigger than that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Nuggets drop here. It's perfect surfing to me. It had that radical element.
What do you got for us?
You're right.
What do you got for us, mate? Take it away.
It's 10 points. You guys, that's huge. Okay.
A perfect score for John John Florence.
I couldn't fault it.
I mean, he took off on that second wave, and that carve is as good as it gets. But, you know, he can do that turn without risking the ride. A lot of people can't, but there he threw it all on the line on that first move. And the power displaced on that final section was some of the best we've seen.
It was just the perfect moment in that heat.
Demi absolutely loves it, doesn't miss a heat, and just great value. Makes you laugh every time you talk to him. Priority with John, 8 minutes to go. Can he come back? Needs a 10. Drives off the bottom. There's that first hook. Crowd silent upstairs. Watching the wrap in the pocket again. He needs something big. Gunning for the ramp, tail high, reverse, it's complete!
Wouldn't like just sitting there while my competitor's catching waves. So let's just have a quick look at this one. This was John's last wave, rips it up in the pocket there. You can see he's just so hungry for this wave to give him something else. And he shifts his weight forward here on the board. You can eye up this section. He goes for the air reverse, sticks it. Now he's chasing a 10. It's got to be higher than Jack's 9.1. It's got to be the best wave of the heat. It's got to be the highest you can possibly go on the scoreboard.
Just the air by itself, Rich. How'd you like it?
I liked it. I thought this wave was actually really cool.
He's got the lead over John John Florence in this matchup. John John next wave of the set. And John John gets a pump in. Lost in the barrel and finds his way out. Great navigation by John John Florence, and we have a paddle battle. We have a heat on our hand.
But for me, I mean, out the back, John just waited for this wave, and for good reason. I mean, that thing was an absolute nugget.
Yeah, check out this angle and just how he's able to maneuver that board backhand through a grindy barrel, Michelle. So impressive.
That's crazy. He just got an 8.17 on that one, and you can see like he was pumping in the barrel the whole time, and that's something that not a lot of people can do. And just because you have to have that vision and to know exactly where you are in the barrel to be able to do that. And John is one of the best in the world, and that's the reason why he got it 8.17.
Yeah, John goes excellent.
You'd just be screaming your head off, but how about this? A little bit deeper, a little bit taller wave, and a big barrel for the man from the North Shore of Oahu, John Florence.
Break through that combination without priority, which is tough because John has been like just on the better waves on this heat so far, and that's basically the difference between the two surfers, because technique-wise, you see Rio looks flawless as well. Beautiful technique and just surfing as good as he can.
Impressed with John just being on the right waves at the right time, like you mentioned before, Brisa, but his willingness to take off so late. Talk about that approach on a wave like this.
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine. The edge, it's like you're on the edge of glory. It's like heaven and death.
Cut to John John Florence. John yanks on the rail over the foam ball, bucks through there, and he's going to take the lead. His mind's blown.
My mind is blown too.
Oh my.
That was incredible. But this wave here from John, I mean, are you kidding me? So deep in the barrel. I mean, he rode over the foam ball. Let's have a look from this angle. So grabs the rail, slips up underneath, and he's pumping right there. And he's on that foam ball, well and truly. Look at that. Like, that time on the foam ball, the judge is going to love it. He loves it. Anytime you see John do a claim, that's the biggest claim he's done all event.
Michelle, talk us through. You know the feeling on this on the backhand, trying to weave through a West Bowl here.
You know that feeling. You pretty much look for it during the free surfs, and John does that during the comp. So that's super exciting for me. He took off right behind the peak, and he was so deep. He was, right on the top of the wave too, and I don't even know like if he was thinking about making it. He just thought like, okay, I'm going to go 100% and see what's going to happen after that. Wow.
Anticipation in the air as we await the score for John John to set this heat.
And now looks like we're going to have a chance. Florence with priority, putting himself really deep, going for a huge score. Seeing him survive the foam ball, puts his hand to the sky and almost goes down. That's when that wave bends away from everyone watching on the boats, but they see him reappear and they absolutely let out a huge cheer.
Bent backwards towards him so much that, look at that fumble. It's hitting him even though he's outside of the barrel. So it's going to be interesting to see what the judges think. I think he was a bit in front, even though it was an impressive ride from him. As you see right there, he starts to slow down. He gets in the fumble, but on the side angle, he's inside the tube still, but on the front angle right there, as soon as the fumble hits him, you can kind of see him. So yeah, it's up to the judges to decide, but that was a very critical wave. I think he's going to fall short, but beautiful wave for John right there, and he looks stoked.
Here we go, though, Chris. 45 seconds, Lobby looking to sell John on any wave. Let's see what happens here. Going to block him.
Yep. Good sales pitch there from Liam O'Brien, but this is John John Florence we're talking about. Searing carb to start. Building speed, hunting the ramp. He gets it straight to the air. Boned out. Frontside air, gets the grab for John, follows it up somehow with another huge carve. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile. He's on his way to an excellent score, no doubt. Quick little snap, fade stall there. Wave starting to build up a little bit through the inside again. And what do we have on the inside? Quick little, yeah.
All in all, this was, to me, one of the greatest waves we've seen, not only in this event, but throughout the entire year. Great carve. Love the way he kind of brings it back right at the end, too.
And you know what he's about to do.
I thought he was going for an alley-oop, personally, and then just a straight grab right there in the front.
Oh.
Little huck right
How
there.
How do you do an air into a turn like that? How is that even possible?
Positioning.
Jeez.
I mean...
Just be John John and you can do that kind of stuff.
There's only one John John out there, though, and I'm agreeing with you right now that if he gets the third world championship, which is a major possibility, we're going to have to start calling him
John
Triple J, yes. Yeah. And then throws a little reverse right here at the end just to clean things up. John, here we go, Chris.
All right, well, we'll see what John John Florence has to say about that. Kind of a quick stall right there to stay in the power pocket. And here we go, the wind-up. Oh, there we go. Power jam for John Florence. Another. Woo! Huge lightning strike for John John Florence at a third. The yellow jersey is a blur as he flies down the line. Another big hard carve. I think John's angry, and that's good for surf fans because that's how he surfs when he's mad. I love to see it. And the crowd, of course, I got a lot of them are cordial, going for Brian, but you can't not cheer when you see a wave like that.
We knew we were going to see it, but dude, that was sick.
This wave right here, sensational.
Well, and as Strider was pointing out, the combination of major maneuvers, every single maneuver here, Strider, was just a bit different than the other.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, look at how quickly in transition he is right there. Laser sharp, and he's doing the turns in the most critical part of the wave. That's where your money's coming from. You can do a turn on the face all day long, but when you get up into that lip line where those chunky, meaty sections are, that's exactly what the judges want to tick off on the box, and that's exactly what he did. You know, the closer on that, a little flat, but still, beautiful variation of maneuvers. And the quickness of this first snap in the lip.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, pushing as hard as you can, destroying the lip, pushing the fins out the back, and coming out of it with speed was just a beautiful thing to me.
He's got the sickest style.
Look at the sections.
He's so casual between turns, and then he just fires them up.
That's a wedge, and he's just putting everything into it. So that's going to be a massive score in my book. I mean,
could watch this wave all day long.
You probably will.
All day. I might.
Well, it's going to be in the highlight package.
Talk about a great opener. Check this out, the replay, John John Florence flick.
Yeah, big first air there from John, straight up into the lip, snaps it around, so great opening, big air there. Little another jam in the pockets, another little jab. So this is already looking like a great wave and a great start for John. Brings it through to the inside here. Some nice rail work. And is he going to finish? He's not, but beautiful air.
Well, the judges thought it was excellent as he shakes hand with Jack Robinson. John John Florence opens up. This was an 8-point ride that we're seeing.
Well, just the level of commitment on that first turn, I think that was really a lot of pop out of that air. And I like the way John's able to stay really tight to the pocket here. These are really snappy turns, really vertical approach. And we've seen that throughout the event. Judges really loving that. A lot of variety in this ride, and the commitment on the first turn, I think, was why it went excellent.
Yeah. So great start for John John Florence. We can take a look and break it down again, flick in slow motion this time.
Yeah, I feel like I've just got to reiterate what you said, Mike. I feel like the judges have obviously so much commitment on that first maneuver. I mean, it doesn't get any more critical. But then it has to be the tightness in the pocket right there.
John John behind him, giant alley-oop and puts it down. Continues on. Full momentum down the line after a huge alley-oop, and he's going to continue to assault Punta Roca. What do you want, John John Florence?
There has just been a murder on the dance floor, ladies and gentlemen. Good Lord. So, all the way on the outside, gaining speed right here. Click. Bam, right there with the landing. As easy as Sunday morning, Kaipo, straight into the carve right there. And then how's this little combo right at the end, too? Oh, wow. Flawless.
You don't see a lot of claims from John John. This isn't from the water, Mitch.
Whenever he claims a wave, that included over in Tahiti, it means that it's something special. Look at how perfect that was. The height, the angle,
the landing,
the rotation, everything.
And it didn't stop any of his momentum, any of his performance on that wave.
So difficult landing in the spot, having your feet in the same place. Degree of difficulty as high as it could possibly be.
Oh, love this in slow motion, Mitchell.
Just perfect technique, always well balanced on top of the board. Excellent stuff right here from John John. But once again, where he lands, look at the back foot. Perfectly placed the entire time.
And then straight into a bottom turn.
That is just absurd. Wow, into the next carve too. This should be a huge number, Kipes.
Yeah. We feel it's a huge number. And we'll get the finish. And wow, the judges know that it's a huge number. A 10, and not just a 10, a perfect 10. A 10 from every one of the 5 judges.
Well-deserved.
John John Florence scores that perfect 10. And a Yeti cooler stuffed with a bunch of Yeti gear. He already rides for Yeti, but he's going to have an extra Yeti cooler. Back into form. Quarterfinals in Tahiti as we look at his year end. But here we go. First wave. John John Florence. Glassy conditions, slightly offshore. John John with the opening snap. Pops it up. Puts it down. John John Florence. Wants a little bit more. Is not going to get back up into the open face. Stuff to get excited about.
I'm definitely excited right now. That was a major air right there. Cool transition coming out of it too. Unfortunately, that wave just a little too fast coming out of it.
Another look at it.
So comes off of the bottom right here. He was already eyeing this bowl coming off of it. Great first snap right there. Love the way he took his time too. Didn't try to rush anything. Made sure that he was able to get the grab. Look at the height on that thing too. Impeccable stuff right there from Double J. Another angle here from the drone. Off of the bottom.
into the lip right there. Good variation. Kind of throws a little tail slide into it too. And a major air right here. Anytime you see big spray like that coming off of rotation, Kaipo, it means that there was a lot of power involved too. Look at the spray off of that thing. Bang.
Puts it down, and he's going to take the early lead. One more time, let's take a look at the Red Tiger from Paisel in flight here.
Yeah, that's a modified one too, so tail brought in a little bit more, and you can just see right there a lot of control coming out of the maneuver, so it should be a major number right here.